I still remember the day my life fell apart. It was a Thursday in June, just 2 weeks after my high school graduation. I had been accepted to Cornell on a partial scholarship, and my parents had been saving for my education since I was born. The future looked bright, until Detective Ramirez knocked on our door. "Are you Ethan Mercer?" he asked, his face an unreadable mask of professionalism. What followed was a nightmare that still haunts me. My cousin Olivia, who had been like a sister to me growing up, had accused me of stealing her mother's heirloom jewelry, pieces worth over $50,000. Not only that, but she claimed I had threatened her when she caught me in the act. I was stunned, speechless. The jewelry had gone missing during a family gathering at my aunt's house the previous weekend, but I had been nowhere near her bedroom. I had spent most of the party in the backyard playing with my younger cousins. "This is insane," I told the detective. "I would never steal from my family. I would never threaten Olivia." But Olivia had provided detailed testimony. She described how I had panicked when she walked in, how I had pushed her against the wall, and told her that no one would believe her if she spoke up. She even had a bruise on her shoulder as evidence. My parents stood in shocked silence as I pleaded my innocence. The look in my mother's eyes, that sliver of doubt, cut deeper than any knife could. The investigation proceeded quickly. My room was searched. My computer was examined. No jewelry was found, but they did find searches about pawn shops in my browser history, searches I never made. Even before any charges were formally filed, word spread through our family like wildfire. My aunts, uncles, and cousins, people who had celebrated every birthday with me, suddenly looked at me differently. Text messages went unanswered. Invitations disappeared. Where there's smoke, there's fire. My uncle said at one particularly painful family dinner that I wasn't invited to but heard about later. My parents tried to stand by me, but I could feel their faith wavering. Every day, the atmosphere at home grew heavier, filled with unspoken accusations and crushing disappointment. Then came the final blow. My college fund was drained to pay for a lawyer. The case eventually fell apart due to lack of concrete evidence, but by then, the damage was irreversible. My parents had spent their savings on legal fees. Cornell rescinded my acceptance after I missed orientation and the start of classes. And worst of all, in the court of family opinion, I remained guilty. "We don't believe you did it," my father said one night, his voice strained. "But we need some time. This has been hard on everyone." Those words were the last straw. That night, I packed a duffel bag and left. I was 18, legally an adult, technically free, and completely alone. The next few years were a blur of struggle. I slept on couches of the few friends who still believed in me. I worked minimum wage jobs, saving every penny. I tried community college for a semester, but dropped out when I couldn't balance work and studies. Every night, I fell asleep with the same burning question: why? Why would Olivia destroy my life? Gradually, I rebuilt something resembling a life. By 23, I had a steady job at a construction company. By 25, I had earned my associate's degree in business administration through night classes. By 28, I had started my own small contracting business. I found an apartment, made new friends, even dated occasionally, though I never let anyone get too close. Trust had become a luxury I couldn't afford. I heard snippets about my family through social media. My younger brother graduated college. My parents celebrated their 30th anniversary. Olivia got married, had a child, then divorced. I felt like a ghost, watching their lives continue without me. On my 30th birthday, I received the first direct contact in 12 years, an email from my mother. "Your father had a mild heart attack," she wrote. "He's stable now. I thought you should know." I didn't respond. What could I say? The wounds had scarred over, but they still ached when touched. Then, last month, another email arrived. This one was different. "Ethan, it's about Olivia. She's sick, very sick. Terminal cancer. She doesn't have much time left, but she's asking to see you. She says she needs to tell you something important." I deleted the email. Then I retrieved it from the trash. Then I deleted it again. A week later, my phone rang with an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Ethan." It was my brother's voice, deeper than I remembered. "Please. It's about Olivia. She's confessed." The hospital room was sterile and silent except for the rhythmic beeping of monitors. Olivia lay in the bed, her once vibrant red hair now gone, her face gaunt and yellow. Cancer had ravaged her body, leaving behind a skeletal shadow of the cousin I once knew. My brother waited outside, giving us privacy for this long overdue confrontation. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice raspy. "You came." I stood at the foot of her bed, arms crossed, unable to sit. 12 years of anger and pain threatened to burst from my chest. "Why?" It was the only word I could manage. Tears filled her eyes. "I was jealous. So jealous it made me sick. You had everything, the grades, the scholarship, the perfect future, and I had nothing. Just a dead-end job and parents who never stopped comparing me to you. She paused, struggling for breath. The jewelry. I pawned it myself. I planted the searches on your computer when you went to get drinks for everyone at the party. My hands gripped the bed rail until my knuckles turned white. Do you have any idea what you did to me? I've lived with it every day, she whispered. I've tried to tell the truth so many times, but I was a coward. I was afraid of losing everything. And in the end, I lost it all anyway. My marriage, my relationship with my daughter, and now my life. She reached for a folder on her bedside table. I signed a confession. It's notarized. I've sent copies to everyone in the family. It won't give you back the years you lost, but maybe. She trailed off, then managed to finish. Maybe it can give you back your family. I stood there, frozen between fury and an unexpected flicker of pity. This woman had stolen my life's trajectory, yet here she was, facing the ultimate consequence, death, with no one beside her but the cousin she had betrayed. I know it's too much to ask for forgiveness, she continued. I just needed you to hear the truth from me before. She didn't finish the sentence. Outside the room, I could see shapes gathering, my parents, aunts, uncles, all waiting to speak to me, to make amends, to welcome back the prodigal son who had never actually been guilty. But was it too late? Could I rebuild relationships shattered by 12 years of absence? Could I forgive the people who should have believed in me when no one else would? And what about Olivia? Did she deserve forgiveness? Or was her confession just a desperate attempt to clear her conscience before meeting whatever waits beyond? I looked at her fragile form, then at the family waiting outside, and realized the hardest truth of all. The choice of what to do next was entirely mine. The power she had taken from me years ago was finally back in my hands. But with it came the weight of a decision that would define the rest of my life. Olivia, I finally said, pulling a chair close to her bed. I need to know everything.